gems. They're acrylic gems that you would get at Michael's or Hobby Lobby or Joann's. But we don't shop at Hobby Lobby because they suck. But a lot of drag queens will take acrylic gems and they'll use this special industrial strength glue called E6000. And when you use E6000 on an acrylic gem, it eats the silver back and it loses all of its sparkle. If you don't realize this, then you're an idiot. Okay? Please, just either buy glass stones or use gem tack for your acrylic stones. It looks horrible. I'm also wearing this outfit specifically because it makes noise. And I think that's really nice. These are real leather gloves. Do you hear that? And the jacket. It's vintage. I think it's from the 1980s because it's got really big batwing sleeves like this. And it's really hot, so I don't wear anything underneath at all. But I am belting it with a leather belt. I quite like the way it looks. I hope you do as well. I feel like this is turning into a Starbucks ad. Can somebody come take my Starbucks cup, please? I'm gonna have one more sip, though. There's no lemons, it's just peppermint tea. Thank you. So, this jacket is made out of PVC. It stands for polyvinyl chloride. It's a fancy schmancy phrase that means plastic. So, I'm also very into fetish wear aesthetically. And while PVC is considered to be a part of the fetish community, it is not latex or rubber. And one of my biggest pet peeves is that when I work in the fashion industry, a lot of designers and stylists will call PVC latex. And it's not latex. Latex is a very specific thing, and it takes a lot more skill and talent to construct a latex garment. Well, maybe not necessarily a lot more skill and talent, but it's a completely different skill set and a completely different process. Rubber and latex have to be precisionally cut, because if you cut it, there's no fixing it. It's rubber. So that's it. There's no fixing it. It's very one cut, which I guess is similar to other ways of construction. But you also use rubber cement and special chemicals to bond the rubber together. And it has to cure, and it's way more complicated than just sewing it through a machine. And that's how you make PVC garments, is with a machine. So it really annoys me when people that don't know what the they're talking about call PVC garments latex. I think latex deserves way more respect than people give it. It's also way more uncomfortable to wear. Also, side note, this is not as annoying because you can't really tell the difference. But when I have a patent leather jacket, for instance. I have leather items, sorry. And when somebody calls it PVC, I get really annoyed. Because patent leather and PVC look almost identical, but there's a difference. Okay? Patent leather is patent leather, and PVC is plastic. There's a big difference. Know your shit. Okay, this is important. I'm a really big Kylie Minogue fan. Huge Kylie Minogue fan. I actually got to meet her one time at a Vogue Paris party, and she was moderately very nice to me. But a lot of my friends will talk about Kylie. about the Kylie that I know. They're talking about some other bitch. And it's very confusing for me. So, it's one of my pet peeves when there's another Kylie with a last name and they don't use her last name. Because to me, only Kylie Minogue is Kylie, period. So, going forward, if you're ever speaking to me and you want to talk about any other Kylie besides Kylie Minogue, you need to use their last name as well. Thank you. Excuse me. Was that gross? Could we leave that in? It was the non-lemonade medicine ball that I just drank. The next thing on my list of pet peeves happened to me very recently, and it annoys the living shit out of me. I don't have a car. I live in Los Angeles, and I don't have a car. I'm gonna get one really soon, like a vintage Jaguar, I think. And I'm a really good driver also. Anyways, I use Uber and Lyft a lot. And one of my biggest pet peeves is when you call an Uber and the Uber driver calls you before they pick you up and they ask you where you're going. As if it fucking matters. And then they'll tell you where they live or something. And like they're trying to go a certain direction or something. And usually I'm like at the airport and I have all my suitcases. And they're telling me their goddamn life story about where they're trying to drive. It's so rude and unnecessary. I hate it. Okay. This one is really offensive actually, and it happens to me all the time. And it gets pretty deep, so get ready. I will be out and about, living my best life in full drag. This happened recently when I was visiting some friends in Atlanta. I was out at a chicken sausage stand, getting chicken sausage at like 3 in the morning after a show, in full high whore drag. And this lady, woman, girl, whatever, comes up to me and she says, "Wow, how are you prettier than me? And I'm a woman." And I was like, well, I don't know, what did I say? I just kind of like gave her a disgusted look. I was kind of like, thank you. What a dumb fucking question. Of course I look prettier than you. It's my job, first of all. Second of all, I spent 4 hours getting ready. And she looked really bad. I mean, I look bad sometimes too. It's no big deal. But like, do you have, like, what a stupid question. As if, like, men couldn't be prettier than her. Like, as if only women are pretty or something. Like, so stupid. And then also, like, what if I was trans? Like, this isn't a fucking bachelorette party, you dumb bitch. We're at a chicken sausage stand. So this is also just a PSA for anyone. It's usually not a good idea to go up to anyone, no matter what they're presenting as, and ask them why they're prettier than they are. It's a really dumb question, and it happens all the time to queer performers and probably trans women. So, shut up, you dumb bitch. This is like a really relaxing and soothing way for me to get everything that's bothering me off my chest. I love it. Okay, my next one is also pertinent to me as a queer performer. I'm on dating apps occasionally. They're actually a huge waste of time, so I don't recommend them at all. A lot of fans will message me very, very sweet and heartfelt things on the dating apps, and it's the biggest turnoff I've ever seen in my entire life. And it's completely the wrong forum for that sort of information. Feel free to slide into my DMs with any sweet messages you'd like to share. But when I'm looking for romance, it's probably not the best time. Thank you. Oh my god. The next one on the list really irks me. I travel a lot for work, right? And I go to airports a lot. waiting for the flight and everyone is in the way, I usually fly at least sky priority at the very least, and there will be zone 4 in the way. If you're standing up before your zone is called, you're just prolonging the boarding process for everyone. Please stay seated until your zone is called. For everyone's sake. Thank you. You look really desperate and annoying. And I'm flying premium, bitch, so move aside. And piggybacking off of that, I travel with a lot of suitcases. Because usually it's like one suitcase for hair and makeup, one suitcase for shoes and boy clothes and toiletries, and one suitcase for wardrobe. So it's usually like 3 suitcases at 70 pounds each. And I get asked all the time if I'm moving, and it's really annoying, especially when I'm checking in at the kiosk. I also get this question asked when my Uber pulls up and they have to help me load my suitcases into the car. They always say, "What's in here? Rocks?" And then I say, "It's a dead body." And then I get in the car and close the door and leave them with the bags. This next pet peeve is a bit educational for you people out there. You young people that have no references. So, a lot of the time I will get tagged in photographs or merchandise of Betty Page, and the caption will say, "Serving Violet Chachki realness." And I just want you guys to realize how dumb you look, because I'm actually referencing Betty Page when I do a black wig with bangs. Okay, so she was a cheesecake model from the 50s, and she's one of my biggest inspirations for my drag. She's not serving Violet Chachki realness. I'm serving Betty Page realness. Okay? Educate yourself. My next one is said a lot in the drag community, and it really bothers me. People will throw around the word couture and the word avant-garde a lot when they have no idea what they're talking about. Avant-garde is supposed to be so over the top and sculptural and almost like a walking art piece. It's not just high fashion, it's like borderline art. Like it should be something sculptural, okay? That is avant-garde, not a corset. Like I hardly ever do avant-garde looks, okay? It's very rare. I've done them, but you have to know what the you're talking about. You can't just throw around words like couture and avant-garde. Couture is technically like there's a council that decides what qualifies as couture, okay? And you have to have a certain amount of time put into each garment, a certain amount of handiwork going into each garment. It's not, everything can't be couture, okay? You sound ignorant. Drag her, slay her, sipping on that truth tea, hunty. Sipping on that medicine ball tea, hunty, with no lemonade, hunty. You could never. You specifically could not ever. And for my last and final pet peeve, this is a language issue. People call catsuits bodysuits all the time. There's a difference between a leotard, a bodysuit, a catsuit, a onesie, and a jumpsuit. They're all different garments, okay? A bodysuit is the same cut as a swimsuit. It's just a one-piece situation. A catsuit is a catsuit. If you don't know, you need to look up. I think I might write a book with pictures, a picture book, so that everyone can get on the same page about what's what, because it's really confusing for me when people don't know what they're talking about. And this concludes my ASMR Pet Peeves video. I will think of more maybe I will do a part 2 because a lot of things get on my nerves all the time, and this is actually very therapeutic for me. I hope you enjoyed watching my very first ASMR video. Please subscribe.